Hello, hello, everybody. I am very, very excited to share with you tonight some tips, or today, some tips that can really increase several things. How much you sell at a party. It'll increase higher odds that the party will hold. It's going to significantly increase you booking parties off parties, which is working full circle, right? And then it gives you some systems. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that my advice, especially if you're new, would be to take these systems and implement these systems as your systems for about 60 to 90 days. At the end of the 90 days, then I would look at them and say, well, maybe that one's not working for me, or maybe this one isn't working for me. And at that point, you can tweak the system or however you want to do it. My experience has been, though, is that when I started, I didn't have any systems to borrow. I didn't have my national just didn't have a real strong customer base. She moved really quickly up the career path. So for me, I was kind of like, and I was very hesitant to use scripts. I'm going to be very transparent with you. I thought scripts were hokey and they sounded not genuine. Well, they sound hokey if you read them like, hi, this is Diane with Mary Kay. I am so excited. Would you like to book a? It's like, who talks like that? So I did find that as I made them more I had interjected more excitement in my voice, and the diction of your voice, raises up and down and speeds up and slows down. People get excited. So I'm going to give you some tips. And again, feel free to type in the chat if you want to give me feedback. But these are things, and sometimes you can tweak something a little bit and have phenomenally bigger results just from that little tweak. Okay, so one of the first things is as soon as I book a facial with the person, I always book her for a facial first and then turn it into a party. That would be like if I got a booth event lead or a facial box lead or something. Now, if I just have a customer that says, can I book a party? Of course, book the party. But if not, if it's somebody that I meet, or like I met this really sharp lady in the nail salon. And so I said, oh my gosh, I'd love to get together with you. So we set up a date. And I said, honestly, and you can write these words down, it's just as easy for me to do you by yourself as it is as it. Bleh. It's just as easy for me to do you by yourself it's just as easy for me to do one face than it is to do multiple faces. And to be honest with you, it's a lot more fun. How would you like to get a half off shopping spree by sharing your pampering with at least two people? And that's when she usually goes, oh, I could do that. I'd love that. All right. So these are not, you don't necessarily have to do these in this order, but number one is make the hostess an invite. Make her, whether you do pic collage, Canva, whatever. I use the same invite for almost every party I do. I've got one kind of more spa looking and then one a little bit more makeup, but the invitations are very, very close. So all I do is change the date and the time. And if it's in person, I put their address on there. If it's on Zoom, I put the Zoom number. Other than that, there is no change. That is the whole thing. So the first thing is make a hostess invite. If you need some samples, go on our unit Facebook page or check with your director. I guarantee she's got flyers to show you. Second thing is give the hostess a text to send out with it. If you say to her, well, here's your flyer, go ahead and invite your friends, gang, you have no idea what they might be typing. They might put in the text, hey, some makeup lady's gonna come over early for a few beers or drinks, and I think we're gonna play with makeup or something. It's like, no. So the other thing, that reason why it's super important to get the give your hostess a text is in the text, and I wish I'd done this years ago. You're going to type it so the hostess forwards it. It's going to say something like this. Hey, I'm so excited that I'm having a spa pampering and I immediately thought of you. You're one of my besties and I'd love for you to come. Call my Mary Kay girl Diane at this number. She leaves my number, um, and let her know what your skin type is, and she'll have a custom goodie bag ready for you when you come over. I really hope you can make it. Now that hostess, so you send her that. Number one fear of a hostess is no one's coming to her party. So by you putting in my name or your consultant's name and her phone number, as soon as the hostess sends it out, your phone starts blowing up. Now, if I was to send, and I'm going to pick on one of my customers, Jen, because she sent me a text today and bought a lot of product, and I'm trying to encourage her to join or hostess a party. So what Jen said to me is she'll probably say, well, let me check with my girlfriends and then I'll get back to you on a date. Like almost all the hostesses are going to say that, right? So instead, you can say, well, if you check with your girl. So I always say this, getting women together is like herding cats. So I'll tell you what, why don't you and I pick a date that's good for you and then I'm available. And then I'll make you a little invite and a sample text and you can send it out. And here's what I'm going to share with you, Jen, is that if you send it out to 15 people, probably 10 are even going to open it. Out of the 10, 8 will respond back, and 5 are like, I want to come. That sounds like fun. So there's that higher ratio of people that are just not engaged, too busy, whatever. And don't worry about them. We're just going to have a blast as long as it's you plus two. Okay. So now you've taken care of the, I'll call you back. You've taken care of the, I'm not going to give you my friends' names and numbers because I trust, I want to make sure that nobody calls my friends that I don't know about, that kind of thing. But by putting in the text, please call my Mary Kay girl Diane at, and then she lists my phone number. And this is the text I'm sending the hostess. She's forwarding it out. Does that make sense? So all of a sudden, a woman named Janine texts me back and says, "Hey, I'm coming to Jen's party. I have dry skin." And I'd say, "Hey, Janine, I'm super excited that you're coming. Do you have a quick minute? I can ask you some questions about your skin." Now, yes, I could text her those questions, but there's no excitement. There's no personalization. There's just this back and forth texting thing. And honestly, I'm quick at texting, but not like some of you are. So I'm here to develop a relationship. My goal is to get a customer for life, not just a one-time customer. So if Janine goes, "Well, I'm at work, but I'm available at 4:45, I go, "Okay, great." And I literally grab my date book, go to 4:45, circle and write, "Call Janine." And she's texting me from her phone. So I now have her number, right? So I'll text her back and say, "Great, I'll call you at 4:45. All right, now there is a sheet in our boards and it's called How to Pre-Profile. Super simple. I wrote it conversationally. So I get Janine on the phone and I say, "Janine, so tell me a little bit about your skin, dry, normal, or oily." Now, all of those are easy to determine. If she says dry to normal, you put her on the dry to normal formula. If she says oily, you put her on that. If she says, "Well, it's kind of dry and oily." Okay, as a new consultant, that's like, don't tell me that. So if they say that to you or they say, "I don't know," then I say to them, Janine, if you wash your face at 7 in the morning, how shiny are you by 12 noon? And let's say she says, "Oh, I'm already pretty shiny." Then she's obviously combo to oily. If she goes, "No, I'm not shiny at all," then I'm putting her on dry to normal. Does that make sense? Okay. So then there's a few other questions you can ask her, like, what skincare are you currently using to wash your face? Now, I found with that, they started feeling like they had to rattle off all their brands. So I don't really use that question. I say to them, "Tell me what your nighttime routine looks like. When you get your face ready for bed, what do you do?" This helps me know, one, is she a minimalist, soap and water, slap some hand cream on her face, done? Is she a woman who's very into skincare? Like she might have a mini fridge in her bathroom where she's got her serums refrigerated, right? So it just depends on the person. But I say, "Tell me what your nighttime routine looks like." And I take copious notes. I write down what she uses, whatever. And then I'll say, "Have you used Mary Kay products recently?" Now, I ask that for a few reasons. One, I obviously want to know if she's using Mary Kay. But even more importantly, I want to know if she already has a consultant. Okay. So this actually happened to me about 2 months ago. I invited a gal to a makeover event I was doing live, and I had invited her and I said, "Hey, if you want to bring a girlfriend, it would be super fun." So she says, "Oh, my friend Mira wants to come." And I said, "Great. What kind of skin does she have?" And she asked her. Hindsight, I should have just asked for Mira's phone number or said, "Can you please ask Mira to text me?" Bottom line is, the day of the event, that night, Mira texted me and she says, "Hi, this is Mira. I'm coming with Kate. I should probably let you know that I already have a Mary Kay consultant. I love your product and I use everything. Is it okay if I still come?" Well, I'm not going to tell her not to not come. So I said, "Oh no, you can come. I'm just not, I'm not going to service you. You can go back to your consultant." So she came, and at the end of the presentation, she said, "Thank you so much. I learned a ton, and I'm placing about a $240 order with my consultant." So I'm sure her consultant was super happy. But again, you always want to ask, are you currently, is there a consultant do you have a Mary Kay beauty consultant taking care of your skincare needs? And so, of course, this is, "Have you ever tried Mary Kay? If you could, this is really important. If you could change one thing about your skin, you wake up tomorrow and you want one thing to be different, what would that one thing be?" Now, the reason why you write that down is because you want to know where they're at. Or if they've got old scarring from acne, it's microderm. Let's say they've got an issue with their skin and you're super new and you're like, "I have no idea what to recommend." That's when you get off the phone and call the medical staff or call your director or your recruiter and say, "This gal's got old scarring from acne. What's my best option?" Okay. And your director, whoever, is going to be able to help you. Now, this is the key thing when it comes to pre-profiling, and I don't want to spend more than another minute on this, is I'll say to Janine, because she's coming to the party, "Janine, do you have any questions for me?" 98% of the time she will say no. And then I say, "Oh, okay, well, most women want to know three things. What are we going to do? How long is it going to take? And what if I want to get something?" Those are the exact words I use. What are we going to do? How long is it going to take? And what if I want something? I never use the word buy. And what are we going to do? Well, Janine, we're doing skincare and a charcoal mask, which detoxifies your skin. And then we're doing the moisture gel mask, which will lock in moisture. How long is it going to take? Well, it kind of depends on you guys. My presentation will be an hour or a tiny bit less. But if this is your only night away from the kids and your husband, and you guys all get to talking, you could just tell your family it's an all night gig. Bring a sleeping bag, spend the night, whatever. And they start to giggle and they laugh. And then I said, and the third thing is, should I want something? There's absolutely no obligation, Janine, but just to let you know, I will have everything there at the party that you could take home that night. Okay? All right, I can't wait to see you on Wednesday. And I hang up. I'll say, would you like me to send you a catalog? And most of the time they say yes, a digital catalog. So one now is I know her skin type. If she says I've got old scarring from acne, I said, okay, don't tell anybody else this, Janine, but I'm going to slide a sample of microderm in your goodie bag that no one else is getting. So don't say anything to anybody, okay? And she goes, oh, I won't. And they get super excited that they're being personalized and customized. So that's pre-profiling. Now, another sheet that I designed that I use all the time. In fact, I just set one up here right here for a class is this sheet. And on this sheet, there's a space for your hostess and 8 of her guests. It also tells me down here, it says pic collage completed, meaning an invite, whether you use pic collage or Canva. That means you made it. And the bottom one says sent to hostess, because you can make the invite, right? But if you don't remember to text it to the hostess, it's not going to do any good. And with that text, I also sent the invite and the sample text. So I'll write on here, check it off, and then I'll write sample text, meaning the hostess now has everything she needs. Now, as people start texting me back, I did this sheet because my former assistant said, if you hand me one more piece of scratch paper with a person's name and number on it, I'm going to shoot myself. She's like, ah. So this is one where I put the hostess here, and as her friends start texting me back, I put guest 1 here, guest 2, guest 3, guest 4. I'll have their phone number because they're texting me. Skin type, they usually will tell me that. I don't do so much the eye color anymore. That's if they have a makeup appointment. Change one thing about your skin, I fill that in. Goodie bag, I wait until I talk to her on the phone, and it says, has she ever tried Mary Kay before? So you can use these lines for whatever you want. But as the party gets booked, I start filling this in. So I might get 1 or 2 texts today, and then tomorrow I'll get another text. And so I just grab these sheets, and sometimes I will have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these all going at the same time. So when I get somebody texting me that says, I'll be at Faith's party, I'm flipping through my sheets. Which one's Faith? Oh, there's Faith. And I'll grab the sheet and fill it out. Does that make sense? Now, if it's an in-person one, I literally take this, fold it up, and put it in my beauty coat, and I pull it out at the party so I can pre-squirt everybody's stuff in their tray. If it's virtual, this is really key. I take this sheet, and as they jump on camera, I highlight their names. So let me give you one that I have used. So some of them have all the names highlighted on them. So what you're looking for is when you, I'm literally just in my office and I have one of these here right in front of me. So let's just say that this gal has got 6 people coming. And so this is all filled out, right? Well, then as people, so here's a perfect example. I'm doing a virtual party tonight. So here's the hostess. I already know all her info. And these are all the people she's got coming. Mother, daughter, young girl, mother, daughter, woman. Okay. So as they jump on Zoom, as their screen pops up with their name, I'm going to highlight their name. Hopefully everyone's name is highlighted by the time we start the party. If not, let's just say the gal down here, Olivia, let's say she doesn't jump on Zoom. My number one priority tomorrow is to text Olivia and say, Olivia, so sorry you weren't able to make it last night to Lorena's pampering. Did you get your samples? And she'll say yes, and say, well, I'd love to go through them with you so that you use them in the right order and the right quantity so you have a really good experience. What's your schedule like in the next 24 hours? I don't want her to say, oh, I can do it with you a week from Friday. I mean, we could, but I really would rather do it sooner because let's be real, she's not going to wait to rip open those samples, right? That's how just women roll. So you want to be really, really careful. The other thing is when this is virtual, you want to make sure you're going to have mailed all these packets out. So you're going to have all their mailing addresses. That's really key to put in the Mary Kay app of my customers so that when the PCP enrollment comes around, you've already got them. Okay. This sheet also helps me remember who the hostess is. And if I try to add her to my team, I want to give her these people, unless there's a personality conflict with a family member. I usually give her all those people to service as her clients. This sheet is also available on boards or on Facebook page. It's just, I think I call it hostess skincare class sheet or something like that. It's pretty basic. Okay. So now that you've sent the hostess an invite, you sent her a sample text, you pre-profiled over the phone. You've got this class hostess sheet, right? So you've got this whole thing that you're working on. You've called the people. Once they've texted you, you've called them. Okay. So now the last thing I want to share with you is I have sheet sets. So what's going to really help boost your sales, and I'm going to do this in 3 minutes, is to sell in sets. So I did an experiment. I have a friend's closing sheet. To me, it's confusing. That's probably why I didn't do so well. It has on it boxes that are this big. So there's like 6 boxes here, 6 boxes here, 4 boxes here. Then there's like alternative boxes and then single line items. So when she showed it to me, I went like, whoa. And I've been doing this for 30 plus years. So it's like, she goes, oh, I do that. So they have lots of options. To me, it was too many options that got confusing. So I have this sheet set. You've got the repair that counts as 4, the miracle set with eye cream counts as 3. I don't need to go through all these, but I laminate that, this on one side and this on the other. This can be printed out off Mary Kay and Touch. This is called Totally Fun, and it's got the top 5 reasons or the top 4 reasons people decide to start a Mary Kay business. So these are laminated. So I laminate about 10, and then I run off about 100 copies of this in black and white, and I'll explain to you why. So they walk in, this side is facing up on the table. So this is all they see. And on top of here is their tray and mirror here, and their profile card is sitting here with a pen. I want them to fill out the profile card. And as soon as they fill out the profile card, I give them their first ticket. Okay. And at the end of the party, I say, once we go around, I said, now I want you to tell me if I let you sneak in my office and you got to steal anything out of my cupboards for free. What are your top 4 products? What are the top 4 things you would love if you got to get everything for free? And we just go around the room. And they're usually reading off their hashtag party board. Then when we're done, I say, okay, you guys slide this sheet out from underneath your tray and flip it over. Now, at this point, I'm also going to give them a black and white copy of this to hand out. I said, the black and white one's for you to take home and keep. And this is the one that I'm just showing you right now. So I walk them through these sets and I say, Mary Kay doesn't offer a sale, but I do. And so I want you to know these are the different sets you can get. When you do the Cadillac collection, which is 8 sets, it could be repairs 4. You might get this for your daughter if she's in her mid to late 20s or 30s, but you could do 4 here. You could do 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, when you do 8 sets, you get the roll up for free, or you can have the deluxe travel size of the skincare for free. So I just walk them through this as a group. It's called the group close. And in the meantime, I've handed out the like the black and white version. And I'll say, now here's what I want you guys to do. If money were not an object, like you literally had someone else's credit card, circle with your pen everything that you would love to have. Now, what I usually do is I usually take a whole fistful of highlighter pens, like the ones from the Dollar Tree, like these kind. And I literally say, grab your favorite highlighter, and I'll have them do this on, not on here, but on the black and white one that's copied. And I said, circle everything you would love if it were free. And then I say to the hostess, go ahead and bring out all the food. Let's hang out. And I said, to get them to close quickly with me, I'll say, and before we do the big drawing, you guys, the first person who will do their individual consultation with me gets 3 extra tickets. The second one gets 2, and the third person gets 1. So who wants to go first? And people will go, pick me, pick me. Because, sometimes it's like the hostess is serving food. You're like, I don't want to interrupt them, but I need to get going because I've been here for an hour or 2 hours. So by doing that, you'll see who's competitive and who wants to close with you. So let's say Faith goes, pick me, pick me. I've got a babysitter. I need to go. And I said, Faith, get over here. So a individual close is really key. And these are the 3 most important things that the individual close: sit eye level or below. Now I'm tall. So if I'm sitting in a chair like this, it's very easy that I'm towering over them. So I will you don't want to slouch onto the floor, but I try to do everything I can to lower my body language to be more approachable, or lean back a little bit. And then I will say, and these are the questions I go, Faith, did you have fun tonight? And I'm nodding and smiling. She goes, I had a blast. And I said, oh my God, how does your face feel? And I touch my skin. And when I touch my skin, believe it or not, she touches her skin. And then I'll say, do you have any product questions at all? She goes, no. The microderm and the glycolic do similar things, right? So you would need both. I go, that is correct. The microderm was like the liquid sandpaper. The glycolic acid is one that just, the ingredient of the acid is what sloughs off the 2 layers of dead skin. She's like, okay. Any other questions? Nope. And then I'm looking down at the sheet that she highlighted. And let's say she's got this circle, this circle, this circle, this circle, this, and some of these circled. Then I'll say, well, this is key. Your financial situation. I say, I can see that you circled 7 sets. You know your financial situation better than I do. What's going to work best for you to take home tonight? And she'll say, oh, well, if it were free, I want everything. But since it's not free, I think I'm going to take the miracle set, the masking set, and the microdermabrasion. And I'll say, wow, that's fabulous. Okay. And this is what exactly how I would role play this with her. I'd say, now, Faith, you want to get this, this, and this, right? This is 3, 4, and 5. You could stop there, but I just want to point this out to you. If you get a 6 set, the price drops down to $2.99 and you get the roll up for free or a mini miracle set for free. And she goes, oh, I didn't think that. You know, my mom's birthday's in a month. Go ahead and give me the satin set. I'll take that as my 6th set. So now she just spent $2.99. So I'm writing that up, right? Then I'm going to pull out the special deal sheet and say, because of your purchase tonight being $2.99, you can select up to 6 things off this sheet. We do have satin lips on here, which is extremely popular. Since you're giving your mom this set, you could keep a set. There's mint bliss foot and leg, which instead of being 12 is only 6, but you can pick up to 6 things and you have until March 31st to do that. And she might go, okay, well, give me one thing now and I'll get the rest later. So that $2.99 purchase could end up being $3.99 or $4.50, depending on what she decides to get from the special deals. Does that make sense? But so when they meet with me, I said, bring me your placemat and the copy of your placemat. So they're bringing me this and the black and white version of this where they've highlighted and circled everything. Okay. So I hope that has helped you. The other thing, one really quick point is when everybody sits at the class, right in the beginning, when you start, you say, um, thank you so much, Melanie, for being our hostess tonight and for having all your girlfriends here. And I will tell you guys, Melanie's getting a big half off shopping spree and a bunch of free product tonight. My goal is tonight is for you to try spa product in the back of your hand because we'll be doing charcoal on your face. So ideally, I would love for at least, let's say there's 5 women there, plus Melanie would be a total of 6. I'm going to say to them, I would love for you guys to watch what I do. And my goal is that 2 of you decide to book off of this party. One of you could do skincare and makeup. The other one could do skincare and a spa treatment, or we could split the group in half and do half of you could do a spa treatment with one of you, half of you could do a spa treatment with the other half. But the person who is quote the hostess gets a half off shopping spree and a percentage of sales for free. And say anybody sounds maybe interested, and you can see who might raise their hand. It depends on how the mojo of the party is going. Does that sort of make sense whether you want to do that? Well, I hope these tips have helped you. It helps to have a system. Otherwise, you just feel like you're doing everything by the seat of your pants. So I hope these systems will help you, and I hope you have a blessed day.